Welcome to another meeting of the Lorain County Commissioners, broadcast exclusively on your Lorain County Community College education station. The Lorain County Commissioners cordially invite you to see the meetings live and in person every Thursday morning. The meetings are located in the Lorain County Administration Building, located at 226 Middle Avenue in downtown Elyria. The meetings start at 9:30 a.m. on most weeks. Now, enjoy the meeting.
Would you please stand to pledge allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk?
No opening comments this morning?
No, I have no opening comments.
Okay. Okay.
No joke, no nothing.
No, just down to business.
Okay. Under resolutions, I need a motion to approve the Job and Family Services bills for payment.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Investments?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion?
No.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Appropriations?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Transfers?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
There are no advances this morning. Requisitions?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Travel expenses?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Approving bills for payment?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
None.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
I'd like to authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary for employees in the jurisdiction of the Lorain County Commissioners.
Are you asking for an executive session today? No?
Well, we have other issues for executive, so we can also
Anything
hold for
under
personnel issues, specifically new hires. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So do you want to do this now, or do you want to wait until after the executive session?
Whatever your pleasure.
Well, we'll just hold it until after executive session in case there's any changes.
Okay.
Okay, under Commissioners, item number 10, issue notice to proceed letter to Americut Coring and Song Incorporated of Vermillion, Ohio, for the reconstruction of the Chamberlain Road Bridge, effective August 12, 2002. The contract was awarded by resolution number 02462. It was adopted June 13, 2002.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
I'd like to approve the Commissioners' Board meeting minutes and waive the reading of same for May 23rd and 30th, June 6th, 13th, 20th, and 27th, and July 11th and 18th, 2002.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
I'd like to authorize various furniture items, such as file cabinets, chairs, and desks that were not sold in the county auction to be donated to LaGrange Township. This furniture will be used in the township building, which will house the township offices, road department, and the fire and rescue substation south of the tracks.
So moved.
Second. Are they?
Discussion?
Yes. Are they going to purchase them at the prices that you gave us, Yvonne?
I didn't see any prices that were listed. That was going to be my question. Do we invoice them at the prices that I
think we were donating.
So
I didn't know.
if I may,
Who are you? Do we know you?
I only took one day off.
That was your first mistake.
While I know we should, and it's proper for us to support requests of these issues, I haven't had an opportunity to look at this furniture and some of the stuff we may need. If in fact this is stuff that wasn't sold at the auction, I think that's fine, but we've accumulated some material since then, and I'd like to have a chance to review those materials. Specifically, I'm trying to retain some equipment for ourselves that's in suitable fashion that we believe we may need, so we don't have to purchase additional furnishings ourselves.
Okay.
Well, I don't disagree with that.
And I-
Grange Township sent a letter of request, and the clerk has it on the agenda, and part of the request was that they be allowed to,
And
and Yvonne has been with LaGrange Township to look at these items, so perhaps she can answer it. I was just trying to facilitate this. I know we're not allowed to do anything while you're not here, but LaGrange Township had talked to me about this, and I was trying to be a commissioner.
on Monday, I spoke with some people on this request, and I asked for a list, and I didn't have that list on Tuesday. It came in Wednesday, and I had the audacity to take a sick day yesterday, so I haven't even seen the list, Commissioner. Obviously, it's your decision. I just don't want to be questioned later on if we want to purchase a desk while we gave desk away.
I think there was one desk, there was, I didn't bring the list with me,
Well,
but on the value there, I totaled it up, it came to $175.
It wasn't necessarily the value that was concerning to me. Replacement value is usually a lot more significant.
What they're asking for is 10 file cabinets, 5 drawer, 3 task chairs, 2 computer tables, 1 black bookshelf, 2 black vinyl chairs, 7 miscellaneous chairs, and 1 desk. And the value, well, on the cabinets is $10 each. The chairs, task chairs, $4 each. Computer table, $10 each. Black bookshelf, $5. And the black vinyl chairs, $4 each. Miscellaneous chairs, $4 each. And the desk, $1.
Yvonne, who priced these items?
Those items were priced from the auction from last year, because that's the only thing that we had to go on, is what we sold them at last year at the auction.
These aren't three-legged chairs, are they?
They're chairs that have been in the auction probably for the past 2 years.
Okay, so none of this equipment is anything that wasn't in the previous auction? Now, that's my concern. Sometimes we
I
do...
think the only item that was not put in the auction was that black shelf that we have. I think it came from the old ETA office. That was probably in there, another desk, but those are the only 2 items that were not in the auction, previous auction.
Okay.
Tim, I think I can agree with you that you should look these items over.
Well, if one of our department heads here wants to make a statement that they've looked them over and they have no suitable use for us, I'll be happy with that. I haven't heard that yet. I've just heard that we have this equipment in storage and we want to give it.
But we do have other departments, the county departments, that request items from time to time, too, and go out there and look for them.
Oh, yeah, we've given quite a few things to other departments, domestic relations court specifically, and we've also given stuff to the schools in the past. So I'm not trying to deny the township. I obviously want to support them. Yvonne, you've looked at the equipment. Do you believe that it has any further use for us?
No, I honestly don't. The equipment that's basically like the chairs and the file cabinets, they've been at auctions probably for the past 2 years, and they don't sell in bumps. We just take it back to Stepping Stone, and that's where it stays until we have another one, basically. So like some of the file cabinets, they're locked, and we can't even unlock them. There's no keys.
And we're always adding to these items, too,
dented
so...
up.
Right, if that's the situation, I'm perfectly comfortable with it. I
I'm
haven't
not
heard
giving
before.
away anything that would be, that we could use in the future. I looked at this stuff, and they're basically, they got tape on them, they got some duct tape on them, and, so they're doing us a favor to take this stuff off our hands, to be honest.
Okay. Commissioner Blair, what is your pleasure?
I move to approve.
Did you want to charge for them?
No,
Just saying it was
absolutely
$175?
not. No. I think that this is public service. It's already been paid for once by taxpayers' money. If we can help out this township, they're building a new building, and they're being very frugal about what they're putting in it. And if we can help them, I think we ought to. I think it's part of our job.
Madam Clerk?
Okay. Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
You're welcome.
Under Engineers Department, number 13, award contract to Charles Acres Construction Company of Lorain, Ohio, in the amount of $34,276 for the Durkee Road Culvert, number 0183, in Grafton Township. Engineer's estimate was $36,568.41. This was the lowest and most responsive bid received, complying with specifications. Acres proposed to begin work on or before July 29th and to complete all work on or before September 14th, 2002. The county engineer has reviewed and recommends approval, and the funds are available in the engineer's bond fund.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
I'd like to approve and enter into subdivider and escrow agreements between the Board of Commissioners and Rich Barron, developer for the Rolling Brook subdivision in Columbia Township. The developer has deposited cash or securities in the amount of $267,000 with Fifth Third Bank of Cleveland for this project, and proof of liability insurance has been provided. The county engineer will inspect the improvements as installed on a timely basis and build a subdivider for these said inspections. All inspection fees must be paid to the county engineer prior to final acceptance of the improvements. The county prosecutor and engineer have reviewed and recommends approval. I'd like to authorize the vice president to execute on behalf of the board.
So moved.
Support.
Discussion? Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Reports, comments, Mr. Cordez, Administrator?
I have nothing this morning except to restate the request for an executive session for personnel matters specifically related to new hires.
Okay. Assistant County Prosecutor, Mr. Innes?
There is one issue of possible litigation I would like to discuss with the commissioners this morning in executive session.
Okay. Commissioners report.
Commissioner Blair?
Thank you. We had a very good Alliance meeting on Friday, and I just want to let the board know, and I will follow up with written communication, but the Alliance membership approved entering into a WIN agreement with NOACA, which is a memorandum of agreement between the Congressman Kucinich and Brown and the Alliance and NOACA to work on bettering our region by communication and meeting, etc. It doesn't necessarily have specific teeth to it, but I think it's a first step in trying to resolve the outstanding issue of how commuter rail might be delivered to our area. So I thought that was positive. And the other thing I want to tell you is that on October the 18th, we're going to have our third annual summit. It's a Friday, and it will be held at the Lorain County Community College, and Dr. Ned Hill, who's spoken in our area before, professor from one of the Cleveland area universities, is going to be the main speaker. And he has a good message for Lorain County, and he's always very interesting. And he's also very passionate about his message. And his comment is that he's a tenured professor, so he can say what he thinks. And then our December meeting, I'm excited to tell you, is going to be at the Grove site in Lorain. Rick Novak from the Port Authority was at the meeting, and Stan Seneger, Lorain Councilman, said that we can have tours of the Grove site if we talk to Rick Novak, and we asked Rick if he could host the December meeting, and he said he will be ready to, so that was good news. So that's what I have to say today. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to wait until new business, so go ahead.
Okay. Old business?
I'm none.
New business.
Yes, the County Commissioners Association is putting on half-day seminars in regards to Senate Bill 5, the new annexation law, and they're doing this at no cost. So I would move for the County Commissioners to sponsor a half-day seminar on Senate Bill 5 in Lorain County on either October the 2nd at 9 a.m. to 12, or October the 3rd from 1 to 4. And to invite township trustees, clerks, lawyers, realtors, developers, municipal officials, county staff, and participants that may have an interest in annexation. And also to authorize Roxanne and Teresa to coordinate the seminar.
May I just ask what days of the week those are, the 2nd and the 3rd?
I believe-
I don't have a calendar in front of me.
I believe the 2nd is a Tuesday.
Second is a Wednesday, and the third is a Thursday.
Okay, thank you, Ron.
I think that's a very good suggestion. I just want to tell you what I did in addition to what
Okay,
you're
thanks.
suggesting, Commissioner Vacy.
Yes, go ahead.
I asked my administrative assistant to forward this information to the Lorain County Community Alliance. I thought perhaps it might be one of the sessions that they might host on the 18th. So I would just like to say great minds run on the same track.
But it's the 18th.
Well, that's the summit that I just announced that we're going to have at Lorain County Community College. And I don't know if they'd have 4 whole hours devoted to them. I'm not sure that they need 4 whole hours. I know that they have a presentation, but...
Well, I know that the seminar lasts a half day, so it will be at
Well.
least 3 or 4 hours.
well,
So it's probably better if we were just hold it separately.
Well, and that could be, but what are they going to tell us in 3 or 4 hours? Jerry, do you have any, we've gotten the book from them that talks about the new law and its implications and stuff. Do you have any input?
I attended one of their seminars, and they are lengthy, and they offer a lot.
They were very thorough, but I thought they were very good. I thought they were very down to earth in their presentation and explaining it in terms of having it be understandable. I agree. I think it's a good idea.
And it informs the trustees and others that are interested in regards to what we have to do on our end.
Maybe-
And the fees, it explains the fees, and
Maybe they'd be willing to do 2 of them, since a lot of the trustees work. It may be inconvenient only to have one date that they could attend. And maybe we could do both and offer them the flexibility in their schedule.
Well, if you're going to do that, an evening meeting might be better, too. I mean, you're hard put to get some township trustees to come to a day meeting.
Absolutely.
That's been one of their reasons for not being more active in the Alliance, because we continue to meet in the morning.
So possibly maybe the Alliance can sponsor an evening meeting?
No, that wasn't my thought, but could we just authorize them to work on it and then come back to us with some dates? Would that be okay?
yeah, I thought about the evening meetings too, but I thought, then that's overtime for our staff, and that's what concerned me. Would the public be willing to pay?
No, they can take
or
comp time. They can take comp time.
But it's just
and come
like it's
in.
time and a half anyway, so.
Well, and another thing, Commissioner Vacy, is that the county prosecutor's office annually sponsors, at least she used to, sponsors a training seminar, or what do you call it? I don't even know anymore.
It's similar to zoning seminar.
Yeah, but this is, just zoning, is that all you do?
No.
I thought you
cover various
included
topics,
other
right.
things, so maybe, do you have a date?
Let's say it always turns into a zoning seminar.
Well, that's because that's, yeah. Do you have a date established? Maybe we could do
no,
that in
we
conjunction
usually-
with them as well.
Yeah. We usually wait until the farming season is over.
Well, October's when Commissioner Vacy's talking about farming season ought to be.
We can certainly try to coordinate that with
Would you be interested in sponsoring together or something? I think it's an excellent idea. Could we ask the staff to work on it a little bit, rather than just establish a date today?
You're going to request that they work on what, a date?
Yes.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. In that case, I'll second the motion.
Okay.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye. Work on a date or dates. Okay?
Other new business?
I have none.
That's all.
Okay. Board correspondence?
I move the reading be waived.
Second.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Public comment?
Is there anyone here that would like to address the board? I'm going to recess till 10:30.
Robert Cage, 7Cs. I have my 6-month report, I guess you might say, on videotape. First, I like to go with a saying by Cicero: cultivation of the mind is as necessary as food to the body. Also, inquiring minds want to know. I want to know, just what is it? Yogi Berra said it looks like deja vu all over again. Good morning, Lorain County. Welcome to As the County Churns. Another episode. A fellow named Cicero said this above: there is a sunshine law, but it has been overcast when it comes to buying copies of these videotapes. At least 6 months ago, I suggested another tape from Lorain County College be placed in the library. Deliver this tape copy directly to the Washington Avenue Library. I can then rent it and make my own copy. This would save buying and repairing the current video copier and the workload of doing so. I call current video copiers evidently can't be repaired. But I could save this workload. I call it removing bureaucratic red tape, or people power. We need more people present at these meetings. The law is here, they'll protect you. I have a copy in my hand. I are a minority of one people. Mr. Mark Stewart, the auditor, has prepared a booklet titled The People's Annual Financial Report. This is in hard copy. You can carry this around with you. To those who work with figures, perhaps this could be of real interest to them, but it is the people's annual financial report. This people signing off until next week. Bye.
Commissioners, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
By the way, Bob, the commission has paid for that book, so your appreciation is most welcome from the board's point of view.
Taxpayers.
Taxpayers, thank you, through the commissioners.
Yes.
Sometimes you get lost in the shuffle on that statement. The other issue is, I'd like to know what's going on with the tapes myself. What is Mr. Kish's issue with the tapes, and why haven't we resolved it? Roxanne?
We're working on getting another video player.
We can, the one that we replaced before is the same model and style as the one Roxanne and them had. They use it so much that it's not commercial for commercial use.
I understood that the other one was fixed, and we were using it, and it was fine.
It broke down.
I like Mr. Kish's suggestion. If it's plausible, send it to the library, then he can get what he wants.
I would prefer not to do that. We have multiple libraries in Lorain County, and they all want a tape, and then it takes time to reproduce these, and then we'll have to hire a staff member just to do it.
Well, I thought it was a good suggestion, Bob, sorry.
I think the suggestion is good. I don't know that we're able to facilitate it. Doesn't make the suggestion a poor suggestion. I'm not going to be very demanding here, but I want this issue resolved.
Yeah, we've been trying. I've checked with every vendor, sent out emails to see if there's anything that's for commercial use, and because everything's DVD now, they're almost obsolete. So that's why we're having trouble. We bought one, Roxanne and them used it. It was the same exact one that we had.
Is there a
It didn't
warranty?
work.
Can you
It
help
broke
us out, Hal?
down.
Is there a warranty on them?
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to talk to Hal to see exactly what he had in mind, because we just can't
Well,
find
let's just get it resolved. Let's put a priority on it.
We have.
I'm going to apologize, Ms. Kish, because the last I understood of this issue, the player had been repaired and everything was fine. I haven't heard about this issue in some time. All right, so we will get you your tape, and we will get it done, because this is embarrassing. And Hal, if you'll help out our staff people here, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
One question on that. Why? Just what is your objection to the library having it? It is an archival record for the records, and that those copies, though they're not, DVD is coming along. Those copies can be transferred.
Bob, I don't think you heard me raise an objection other than a concern. I said it was a good idea, but it may not be able to be effectuated with any efficiency on our end. I think the idea is capital, but there's probably 12, well, that's maybe an exaggeration. I think there's 8 or 9 libraries,
14.
separate
I'm asking
libraries.
for one.
14. If I had to make 14 tapes.
I'm asking for one, Washington
You're asking-
Avenue.
Well, that's for O'Leary. Then somebody from Lorain wants one. Then
Well,
somebody
if they
from,
want one, why can't they have it?
well, who's going to stand and make them?
I don't know, the same person that's doing it or not doing it now. It's a good, look into it, okay? Just as long as you're going to talk to Hal.
No, because if I say we're going to look into it, then Bob thinks we're going to do it, and then he comes back in 3 months and asks why it isn't done. Okay? Commissioners, if you want it done, we will do it, but recognize it's going to consume some staff time.
I just asked you to look into it. I didn't ask you to do it.
I understand.
There's the difference.
Thank you.
Inquiring minds.
Sheriff Mahoney. I'm sorry, Stamati.
Mr. Kish is a hard act to follow. I only have a couple things to bring up. I just wanted to bring up that, and whoever hasn't gotten the papers, we do have our webpage up and running, and it is www.loraincountysheriff.com. I want to thank the commissioners and Ernie Smith for all his help in putting that together. My own staff, Christian Yarbrough from the Chronicle wrote an excellent article on it. And my staff, Corrections Officer Charles Crosaw, put that thing together, so it did save the county and taxpayers some money we didn't have to have that professionally done. And I think he did an excellent job on it, so.
Good.
I just wanted the citizens to be aware of that.
Are you going to have it updated from time to time?
Yes, we will. I have somebody that is going to update it because obviously everybody's interested in the sexual offenders and the predators that are on there now. We also have the history to the department, you know, the administrative staff, our DARE programs, our race against drug programs, our CAP programs, they're all on there. So it's good information, web-based for people in the county. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board?
Madam Chair,
Okay,
I
we-
move we go into, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to suggest recess until 10:30 for our annexation.
But I thought we could go into executive session between now and 10:30 for the issues that were outlined by the prosecutor and the administrator. If that's
Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
So do you want to make a motion? Second.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mary Jo, you want to pass the personnel summary sheet first?
Yes.
Okay, the commissioners have reconvened from the executive session.
Okay, Madam Clerk, we had the summary sheet for the employees' summary sheet.
Personnel summary? Mhm.
Yeah, personnel. I would so move.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Okay.
This clock is like 10 minutes slower than the one in the other room, so I don't know if we want to wait another 5 minutes, or should we continue? Do you think everyone is here, Mr. Murray?
I have 29 in.
Oh, okay. All right, we will, we have a continued public hearing on the proposed annexation of approximately 1.1867 acres in Grafton Township to the village of Grafton, Ohio. Robert and Marcia Forboda, petitioners. I believe that you have now hired Attorney Garrett Murray.
That's correct.
We've heard a lot of the background in the previous meeting, but before, just for the record, after everyone is sworn in, I would request that Mr. Murray, of you to confirm that the regulations regarding the ORC have been met, and also if Mr. Innes has any concerns, that they are brought before the board. And I believe anyone that wishes to make any statements has to be sworn in.
Anyone who believes they might want to testify, stand and be sworn in. Do each of you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth as you shall answer unto God or the penalty of the law of perjury?
Mr. Murray?
My name is Garrett Murray, and my address is 409 East Avenue, Elyria, Ohio. And I represent Robert Forboda and Marcia Forboda of 859 Mechanic Street, Grafton, Ohio. And I'm now representing Mr. and Mrs. Forboda. And I'm here regarding the petition for the annexation of 1.1867 acres from the Township of Grafton to the Village of Grafton. Not attending the previous meeting of July 25th, I may state some things that you already know, but I would like to restate them. As you know, this property is located on the north side of Crook Street. It's west of Elyria Medina Road, State Route 57. It's east of the B&O Railroad tracks, and it's south of Grafton Village Willow Park. The size of the property is that it's about 200 feet along Crook Street, 364.62 feet on the west, 199.56 on the east, and it's 205 feet on the north. And this parcel is adjacent and contiguous to the village on its north property line of about 208 feet wide. I have a map that I got from the auditor's office, and if I could present that to you, it might help showing.
I believe we have one, but I don't know.
This is,
Do you have a newer one?
well, I don't, it's different. This is the colored one.
Do you
Okay.
color it, Garrett, with your crayons? Because if you did, I want to see it.
Actually, at the cost of this map, I'm going to give you the best.
Oh, and give that to the clerk.
I also have one that, well, I didn't have more of that.
Oh, you want me to say it?
Then
Okay.
I have a couple copies that I redlined.
Thank you.
But anyway, while I'm here,
We got to turn it right now,
yes, so
which is upside down. I'm looking for
I
the
think
body of
this-
water, this way, okay.
right,
All right.
this, see this parcel right here?
Which is it, 008 or
001. 011.
011, okay.
Okay, and it's, yes, it's 011. So I'll leave this to, and we'll
Excuse me.
look at it as we talk. One of the interesting things about the parcel, as we pointed out, it is 011 is the parcel that we've identified. And if you look at the map and look at 011, and you can see that part of it, 0.32 of an acre, is already in the village of Grafton. And you can see that where the corporate line is, runs along the north side of the properties. And if you look to the parcels to the east and to the west of my client's parcel, you can see that his neighbors also have part of their parcels in the village of Grafton. And if you take a look at parcel 005, it looks as though the corporate line goes through a building. And if you look at parcel 006, you can see that that also looks like it goes through part of the building and through their driveway. Parcel 003, which is the parcel next to the B&O railroad tracks, it's 1.5 acre parcel, and that parcel is in the name of the Grafton Village. And that parcel, if the village so wished, they could petition for annexation of that parcel to Grafton Village. But that parcel 1.50 is in the village.
Question, Garrett?
Pardon me?
Which property are you saying is in the village?
It's owned by the village, it's not in the...
Not in the, okay, thank you.
I
I'm
just
sorry.
suggested that they could...
I misunderstood you. I
No, they
apologize.
could ask for annexation, and that would bring the corporate line closer. The corporate line runs east and west on this map, and it extends past the railroad tracks over to Mechanic Street, and then, as you can see, it runs in a southerly direction down Mechanic Street. It then meanders in a easterly direction along Crook Street. It then goes south along at parcel 001, I believe it is, and then it proceeds west again and then continues down down Crook Street. At the previous hearing of July 25, 2002, there were some omissions that were discovered, and I'm sure that you'll take into consideration the fact that my clients at that time were not represented by legal counsel. So we have attempted to correct some of those omissions. The first one was that the petition did not provide, according to 70902C, the naming of a agent. So we amended the petition at paragraph 6 to say that the name that Robert Froboda would be the agent. Of course, the reason for naming an agent in the petition is that you can imagine that sometime you might have a petition of multiple property owners. Maybe it might have 10 or 20. So therefore, the Board of Commissioners would want to know who is that one person from all those many property owners that they should consult with. I noticed that on the approval by the county engineer of the amended map and legal description, they also referred to Mr. Froboda as the agent. We also amended the petition to provide the statement that there are two owners of real estate. Section 70902B says that there should be a statement as to the number of owners of real estate in the territory sought to be annexed. So we amended it to say there are two owners, and that's Robert and Marcia Froboda. The petition did say that they were the joint owners, but I think the amendment clears that up so there's no mistake. As you're probably aware, Section 70903(2) of the Ohio Revised Code provides that the petition may be amended without further notice by leave of the county commissioners with the consent of the agent, where such amendment does not add to the territory embraced in the original petition. And if we did add land, then there would have to be another hearing. So we respectfully request that the commissioners permit us to amend our petition. The other question that was raised was the Section 70903(1) that talks about the property owner within 7 days after receiving notice of the hearing date to deliver a copy of the notice to the clerk of the township and to the clerk, in this case, of the village. And in this particular case, the petitioners did mail notice to the village and to the township. It was late. But from the time they mailed it to the time of your hearing on July 25th, 42 days elapsed between the time it was mailed and the first hearing date. In addition, a notice was published in the newspaper for 4 consecutive weeks prior to the hearing. It was published in the Chronicle. I understand the representative of the village was here and the mayor is here today, and I understand also that the township trustees have responded by writing to our petition. So both the village and the city did receive notice. I do not believe they were prejudiced by the fact that it wasn't done at the time mentioned in the code. There are some cases that talk about the fact that as long as someone is not prejudiced, that the fact that notice wasn't given in strict compliance with the section of the code will not defeat the petition. There was one case, Dayton versus McPherson, where the person published the notice in the newspaper, and then after it was published in the newspaper, then they mailed it to the village and to the township, and the court held in that the notice did satisfy the provisions of Section 70903(1), even though the person didn't send it out within 7 days. As I mentioned before, I think when the petitioners came here on July 25th, they did not have with them or did not file with the clerk the certification from the Chronicle that notice was published 4 weeks prior to the hearing. And since July 25th, I have presented it to the clerk, and that notice did comply with the requirements of the law. Also, there was a question raised whether rural water was going to provide water or whether the village was. Excuse me. So Grafton Village Council amended their original resolution of May 9th, 2002, passed a resolution August 5th indicating that Rural Water Authority would service this lot with water and not the village. And we have supplied the commissioner's clerk with a copy of that resolution. I've been here many times, and the board has heard some snippets of the law, and that particularly that the legislature in enacting 70903(3) has set certain standards that the Board of County Commissioners must apply in annexation proceedings in specific language, and restricted the discretion of the board to those factual determinations. I'd like to stress that in this, as the law applies in this particular case, the word territory in the phrase, the general good of the territory sought to be annexed, as used relative to the annexation of land to a municipality, means the focus is on the owners of the lot. It also means the inhabitants of the territory to be annexed. For example, there was a case where the petitioner wanted to annex so he could change his farmland to an industrial park, and that was to benefit him specifically, and the Court of Appeals approved of that annexation. The cases say that the ultimate focus of an annexation proceeding will be on the general good of the territory sought to be annexed, and requires the granting of the petition when that is shown that such benefit will result. In re Shar, 59 Ohio Appeals 2nd, 146 indicated that the requirement of 709-033 that the general good of the territory must be served before the land can be annexed is satisfied if the annexation would be exclusively to the benefit of the sole owners of the property. So again, the focus is to the property owners. In that case, in re Larisia, 38 Ohio State 299, says that under 709-033, the desires and intentions of the sole owners as to the good of the territory sought to be annexed must be given greater weight than a consideration than those of other residents of the township. So again, the focus is again towards the desire and the intention of the owners. There was a case, in re Esmond versus Jefferson Township Board of Trustees, a 1994 Ohio Appeals case, that said that one of the legislative policies of the enactment of 709.033 was to give the owner of the parcel the freedom of choice as to the governmental subdivision to which they desire their property to be located. Now, if you look at our map, again, our parcel 011 will be bounded on the north by Grafton Village and on both sides by the township. And incidentally, the neighbors of Mr. and Mrs. Proboda have no objection to this annexation proceeding. So that might be a concern, and we know what the law is, that in re Jefferson Township Board of Trustees, they indicated that while islands or peninsulas are generally discouraged, their existence alone will not defeat a petition or annexation, so long as the decision to create them was not unreasonable, illogical, or arbitrary. If you take a look again at the map, you can see that as the corporate line comes down Mechanic Street in a southerly direction, it then goes up around Crook Street, proceeds to the south, and then to the west. So that parcel was annexed to Grafton Village, and as you can see from the map, that left a township property to the north of the parcel, to the east of the parcel, and to the south of the parcel. So that might be considered to be a precedent. The general good of this particular piece that we're talking about today, and the benefit for the territory and to the owners, would be that the owners wish to construct a home on this parcel. And certainly no one would deny that wanting to build a home on your parcel would be good for the general good of the parcel and for the owners. The petitioners have made the choice that they wish to live in Grafton Village. And as I pointed out, that is one of the considerations to be given by the Board of Commissioners. And the reason for that is that he has worked in the village, he and his wife work in the village of Grafton. They've lived in the village of Grafton for 35 years. This parcel is a quarter of a mile from city services, which is closer than the township services, which would be about 5 miles. The electric rate is 15% cheaper in the village. And also that Robert Ferboda is the first ward councilman, and he must live within the village in order to continue as councilman. And he has 3 years left, and he's been a councilman for 9 years. So that is another reason, of course, and that certainly would be for the general good of him. There are a couple cases that may have some parallel to that, and that is a case in which a person wanted his property annexed to the city. He was in the grocery business, and if he was in the township, he could not sell liquor, beer and wine. If he moved to the village, he could. And in that particular case, the Court of Appeals indicated that that was to be classified as the general good of the territory and the general good of the property owner. This parcel also fits into the what I call the unity of the neighborhood. As you can look at the map, you can see that it is a residential neighborhood, and this would be one more residence in a residential neighborhood. So it is not out of character with the parcel. So we are of the opinion that my clients have complied with the provisions of Section 70933, and that we feel that no rights of anyone have been prejudiced, and we feel that this does comply with the statute that indicates that this would be for the general good of the territory to be annexed. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
I just have a couple here. What about the maintenance of the road? It's going to be split?
No, the road is not included in the annexation.
So the road will be the responsibility of the township?
Correct. In other words, this is in keeping with the commissioner's standard that either all of the road be taken in or none of the road be taken in.
Okay, and will this be confusing for safety service providers?
I don't think it would be. I tried to measure the distance from my client's parcel to the corporate line that runs down Mechanic Street, and I came up with maybe about 1,000 feet. So they already, as far as the fire and safety services, they already service the property on the west side of Mechanic Street. And even that little parcel that looks like it might be a peninsula on Crook Street. So they would be just traveling, actually on the north side, maybe about 3 parcels down the road.
Would you please come up to the mic?
You have to.
State your name, please.
Mayor Sherry Sapansky. The village numbering system is a 4-digit numbering system. So our dispatch knows that anything in a 4-digit will be toned out to Grafton Village. Anything in a 5-digit will be toned out to Grafton Township. And that's how we've always solved the problem of village and township.
So will this have a new address?
It should have a 4-digit address being in the Grafton Village. So 911 and Grafton Dispatch is aware that's how their tones are set out.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Anyone else? Is there anyone here against the annexation? I guess it's your desire.
Madam Chair, based on the information that's been presented to us this morning, Mr. Ennis, did you just want to say anything?
I would just indicate that the amendments which Mr. Murray has implemented to this did cure those procedural defects that I had about the appointment of the agent. And I believe he has correctly cited the law regarding the notice that since there doesn't appear to be any procedural or any prejudice caused, that it is a waiverable defect as opposed to being something fatal to the petition.
Okay, in that case, I find that the general good of the territory sought to be annexed has been met, and therefore I move to approve.
We should add to our motion something agreeing to the amendment.
The request was to amend their petition. So, Madam Chair, I'll move that we amend their petition as presented and as outlined today, and then approve the annexation. Citing
I will-
the general good of the territory sought to be annexed as you defined.
Then I'll withdraw my motion. Okay. Second your motion.
Any more discussion?
No?
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone here again that would like to address the board?
My name is Doug Johnson. I'm from Oberlin, Ohio. Was late to the meeting last week, and I thought maybe the commissioners had addressed this subject, but they had not, nor did they today. I'm speaking of the death of Don Pease. He was, besides serving for 2 terms in the Oberlin Council, he was our senator and representative in Columbus, and he was our representative for 8 terms in Washington. He was a great guy. I think the editorial in the Journal speaks best to it as it concludes. Throughout his political career, Pease was a man of absolute integrity, a real gentleman. His work and his life remain as a model and an inspiration to those who follow. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Johnson.
I think Don Pease was a friend to many of us. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. I've got a copy of each and every article that's been written about this time frame, and it's a good historical record of a great public servant for our county and our state and nation. Madam Chair, I move we adjourn.
Second?
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
We're adjourned.